So, Project Kara is a For the Youth by the Youth foundation in India that I co founded with my friend Arushi, who I've already mentioned. Basically, India has always had a mental health crisis for the youth, but the way our culture is that mental health is kind of this thing you don't talk about. It's taboo. My friend Arushi and I were like, okay, something needs to be done, especially for the youth. And we did some research and we were like, okay, India's mental health is horrible. Our government must have done something, right? Because you'd think our government would. They didn't. They have some mental health policies in place, but they are generic. And the thing is, you cannot treat youth mental health the way you would an adult's mental health. There is a reason counseling psychologists and counselors in general specialize between youth and adults. And the issue is our government just didn't take account of that. So we're like, okay, let's figure this out. The aim of Project Kara is to kind of spread awareness, information, and access to mental health resources across India. And we do so in a few specific ways. We have a team of 26 people between the ages of 14 and 19. We kind of work on podcasts. Our podcast is called Something Unsaid. Please check it out. Articles, our website has our articles, but it also has information to helplines and counselor informations in India, counselor informations for people in India. If you are in India, please check it out. It can be helpful. um, our website, articles, podcast, and finally our social media page. And the main idea behind Kara is to use the power of stories, just writing and speech, to normalize mental health. And what we realized in this time is that it can also empower people when it comes to their mental health. Maybe not to speak out about it, but at least to reach out and get help.
Yeah, I think it's a wonderful initiative because I've never said this before in my channel or in anywhere, but because I guess because of the pandemic I started to suffer an OCD, so I had to go to a therapist, and basically that helped me a lot. Like it was, I know
Yeah,
it's not magic,
definitely.
but it's like it feels like magic, especially when you've been going through a lot of stuff in the past few months. So basically, yeah,
Yeah.
guys, I was thinking about telling you that everyone listening, go to see a therapist if you're going through some kind of stuff. I know it's expensive, and I don't know in your country, Kaavya, in India, but at least here in Mexico, it is expensive.
Yeah, it
So
definitely is. And that's a massive issue.
yeah,
And one of the things we want to do in Kara is actually find a way to subsidize this. Because therapy helps. You're right. You're absolutely right. It does help. It doesn't happen overnight, but it does happen. And then when the day
yeah,
it suddenly clicks, it's like, oh my God, what's going on?
exactly. And how do you think we, being like so young, can like really just stigmatize the idea of mental health like being crazy or mental health being something that we
Yeah.
cannot control? How can we do it being so young?
So I think what you just did, Jose, is a great example. Open up about your stories. And you don't have
Yeah.
to do this if you're not ready. It's 100% okay if you aren't ready to talk about it. But when we hear other people talk about mental health, it doesn't just have to be about your mental health, it could be about mental health in general. It normalizes it. It makes it like physical health.
Exactly.
If I am completely fine saying, hey, guys, I fell down, I got a bruise yesterday, I had to go to the doctor, I had to get a scan, why are we so scared to say something about that, about our mental health? Why are we so scared to say, hey, I'm really tired because I had a really stressful time and I'm just not doing well mentally? That's my opinion. I'm not a professional.
Yeah.
So what do you think,
Well,
Jose?
yeah. I also think that that's a good idea, and really, I think that a good strategy would be like, um, get psychologists or therapists in schools, because I don't know in India, but here in Mexico we don't have. Well, we have psychologists in some schools, but not in every single one of them. But
Yeah.
nobody really goes there, and I think
Yeah.
because the idea of like, oh, are you crazy? Like you need to go to therapist or you need to go, and sometimes even your circle of friends or your even your family like probably not meaning it, but makes us feel like you're weird or you are like, oh, you have a mental issue. Like, let's
Yeah.
keep it here and don't tell anyone else because you're
I
gonna
got
see like a
su-
weirdo.
Yeah, absolutely. I got super lucky with my school and family because they're super liberal and they're super understanding of mental health, and they're all like, if you need help, get it. But the
Yeah,
thing is, I had an internalized stigma about mental health because society in general is just like, ah, you are crazy. The mental health, we don't talk about it. We hide it. No one has mental health issues. What are you talking about? But I think but it was easier for me to break it down because like I had a supportive family and I had a supportive school environment. but a lot of people don't have that.
Yeah.
Like India is very similar to Mexico in that way, where majority of the people are still going to look at someone who has a mental health issue and just maybe not meet intentionally, but always exacerbate that issue to make them, to either make them feel like it isn't real, or to make them feel
Yeah.
like they're different or less than just because of something that is hurting their mental health, not because of anything that they had to do. We often don't have control over our mental health or how it deteriorates. We do have control over
Yeah. Exactly.
how we can help it, but that takes time, and it's okay to not be okay. So